Christmas and I was in the shelter. And it's just like, yo, I have a big family, but like I couldn't be with nobody. Yeah. You feel me? So it's just like one day I woke up and because at the shelter they gave you like this toothpaste, and I didn't really like the toothpaste, right? So I said, you know what?
You can't be
I'm picky, man.
You can't be
picky, I'm really picky, right?
Shelter, so like, I don't want this.
So
bread.
I'm like,
hold on, miss.
Would you like?
Hold up, miss. I know I don't have a home or nothing, but this toothpaste.
Yeah,
I'm not really
it wasn't good,
it.
man.
I want to get the blueberry.
I'm
brand.
still human, man.
I feel
I'm
you.
still human, man.
Like, hey, you wake up in the morning, give you some toast. Yo, can I get brown?
Yeah, brown. Can you cut my edges off? You gotta make me eat the crust.
I gotta keep the Colgate still hot, man. I gotta keep the smile, man.
Okay.
You feel me? So then I woke up one day and I went to go buy toothpaste at, it was at Albion and Finch, right?
Albion Mall.
Albion Mall, right? I went to Albion Mall.
In the ghetto.
Shoppers Drum Mark. Shoppers Drum Mark was the only store, was open, so I went there and I bought the toothpaste. And I'll never forget this because even as I speak to you guys, I still see the vision in my head. And then I was walking back to the shelter and there's like all these pigeons, like just all these pigeons in the parking lot. All these pigeons, you know what I mean?
Why did the TLC song pop in my head?
This is a true homeless man vision. I'm with it, though. I'm with you.
All these pigeons, bro. I'm mad as hell. You know what I mean? Christmas Day, I don't have nowhere to go. You know, all these pigeons. I got my toothpaste. Wasted like 2 something on the toothpaste. You know what I mean?
That's a lot.
Yeah, I'm walking back to the shelter now. And after, I was just walking back and I was just so angry, right? And I was just thinking about what I'm going through, right? And after I was just walking back and I just stopped for a second. And after I just looked at my surroundings, right? And I just see all these birds just flying around me. Just flying around.
I'm dying right now,
Yeah, true story, man.
I like these, though. It's some real shit right
Real
there.
shit, man. I'm telling you, right? And all these birds are just pissing me off, man. And it's just all around me, and it's walking around. I just want to be in peace with myself.
That's it. I'm homeless. Yo. I just want to be alone.
So then I'm like, you know what? So I'm like, I just stood there for a second, right? And I just said, you know what? I'm like, yo, nobody's gonna help me. You know what I mean? Nobody's helping me. It's up to me to get off my feet. I'm at rock bottom. And it can't get any worse than this. I'm like, I gotta do something for myself.
Props to that.
Right?
100%.
And it was at that moment that I said, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna make this happen. I'm gonna be an inspiration to all the other youth in my neighborhood, all the other youth that need that inspiration that they could do with that. Right. And I just started with me. Right. So it was 100%. then that I said, you know what? I'm gonna do it. Right, so then after that, I went back to the shelter. I called my brother, talked to my brother. I had a really deep conversation with my brother. I'm like, you know what? My brother's like, yo, go live with your sister in Scarborough. So then I went to go live with my sister in Scarborough for a while, and I was going to school. And then I started my company, right? My company Keys, and that's just to inspire kids. And I was able to go to different high schools and different community centers and just do a lot of motivational speaking, like some real stuff, And I was never scared when I speak to people, right? Because playing basketball, we used to play in front of a lot of people, and just playing basketball teaches you so much skills and it builds so much characteristic in you, right? Playing
100%.
basketball does so much things for you, right?
Any sport.
I was very cocky. I was very sure in the things that I'm gonna accomplish because I play basketball. When I play basketball, I always want to be the best.
Nice,
and I was, you know what I mean. So I'm just like, anything that I want to put my mind to it, I know I could do it because I did it in basketball. So I knew I could do it right now with anything I want to do.
Right.
So then I just started my business, started doing my motivational thing, and then I was going to school and I was working really hard. But in high school, I was getting real shitty marks. Man, we're getting like 25%. 30%. We were not really doing anything. But our marks were really bad.
Yeah.
So, so even when I was going to school, it was kind of really hard for me because I didn't have a lot of confidence in myself. It's when you think about the high school system now and just what the kids go through is really bad because a lot of teachers and just the high school system they need to tell their students that high school does not define you. You know what I mean? When you go to high school, it does not define you, right? And a lot of kids,
I think we thought we did.
Yeah, we thought we did, right? We thought we did, And there's a lot of teachers in there that's not really good for the system.
Nowadays, most teachers I find are just catching a paycheck. It's not like the teachers, even back in our day, who were a little more passionate about what they did. Like now, it's just catching a paycheck and going home. They don't really care about the kids
sad.
as much. Yeah,
it is really sad.
No doubt.
You know what I mean? So and just all these things that I was doing, like just playing the basketball stuff and. It just motivated me to go back to school like I was doing, and I just I just said, you know, I'm gonna take all this, I'm gonna take all my energy, I'm gonna take everything, I'm gonna treat it like basketball, right? But I wasn't playing basketball. I said I'm gonna live life like it's basketball. And after I just started, you know, treating everything like basketball, and I started working hard just like I was playing basketball, and I just started seeing everything just blossomed. On all my success will come in. Started going to church for real. I started going to church. There's a point in my life where I started going to church where I was able to focus and concentrate on God for about 6 months, and that changed my whole life. And people doesn't really know the power of like concentrating with God. Like, you know, I mean, it's a serious thing. You feel me? And like I started going to church for 6 months, and it changed my whole life around. You know what I mean? I really think that was a flip right there. You know, because I was able to like just forget about everything in this world and just go to church and just focus. And when I was going to church, like, people always see me differently. They used to see me and just like, yo, Francis, you look so happy. You look so, you know what I mean? You look just so like, you know, like different. You're so peaceful, so different. You know what I mean? And for me, I think like that was a flip right there for me when I started going to church for real, right?
So you weren't like actively religious or, you know, praying prior to?
My parents, you know, always used to force me, but I feel like when it was my own decision, that was when I started seeing like my relationship with God building, like not when I was being forced, like when I had to go to church because I wanted to go, you know, because I wanted to, you know, get closer to God. And it all happened because I was associating myself with other people that were going to church, and that was my circle at that time, right? And they were talking about going to church and talking about God and how good God was, and you know, you become your circle, right? And I became my circle. My circle was like, you know, my circle was like, go to church. So I was going to church, and that was what was making me different. So for me, that was the flip. That was the flip, right? When
talking about the flip, which is the title of your book.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations on that. How did that start? I mean, like you're 30, 31?
I'm 30. 30. That was, and I had it for I think like 3-4 years. 3-4 years it'd been on. You know what I mean? It was a really big accomplishment because in high school I was not like one of those students that I ever think I have a book, right? But you know what I mean? Like I used to hate reading books. You know what I mean? I used to really hate reading books, but reading is everything. You know, reading is like you gotta read. You gotta educate yourself, right? So reading is a big thing. So what happened was that I wanted a way to be able to inspire youth, and I know that I can't touch every youth. Like I can't speak to everybody, right? So I'm like, what can I do that, you know, that youth could access even from out there? Like, how can my story get around of inspiration and, you know, resiliency? How can my story get around? And that was when I thought about writing the book, and that's why I wrote The Flip. And when I wrote The Flip, you know, it's about my life, and it's about how I changed my life from negative to positive. You know, I speak about, you know, like, you know, having positive influence in your life, you know, going to church, getting yourself an education, you know, just, knowing your why, like your reason why you're alive, like, you know what I mean? Like all that kind of stuff, you know, it's just like, it's real stuff, right? So I share my story with youth, and I teach them, I show them like, yo, this is how I did the flip, right? I'm like, you know, I have bad friends, this is how I flipped my bad friends. Like, this is what I did. I was getting bad marks in school, this is what I did in school differently that helped me get better grades, right? So everything in the book, it tells you the bad way to do it, and it tells you the right way to do it, and it tells you how to flip it. So that's why the book's called The Flip. But it's not called The Flip only for that reason, because the book actually does flip. The book actually flips. So when you flip it to the other side,
I've seen that.
So when you flip it to the other side, it's for parents, and it teaches parents how they could build a positive relationship with their kids from negative to positive. Because I really feel like the parents got to be able to do it, and the kids got to be able to do it, right? So that's when the whole concept came through.
So touch on that. How is your relationship now with your parents?
Oh, my parents, they respect me to the fullest, man. Oh my goodness sakes, bro.
Did they feel a little guilt? Like, oh man, wish we were there for you a little bit more?
No. Honestly, my dad did his thing. You know, my dad had no education. My dad didn't even go to high school. You know what I'm saying? My dad didn't even probably go to elementary school, right? So my dad did like the best he can with what he had, and I respect my dad to the fullest. You feel me? So, you know, my parents respect me, and you know, it's just one of the best feelings when your dad has so much respect for you. It's so different, right? So, but who wouldn't respect you when you have like over 25 prestigious awards. You know what I mean? Who wouldn't?
Wait a minute.
Who wouldn't respect you for that?
All right, let's talk about that.
For that, man.
Let's go.
Straight up, man.
All right, let me get out. Let's see here. 2016 Harry Jerome Award winner.
Oh my God.
2016 biggest award out there.
2016 Pan Am Premier Torchbearer.
Sure.
Yes.
I saw that. I saw that on City TV.
So you were running with that?
I was running with that, man.
Hold on. How far did they make you run with that?
Man, it wasn't that far. You know, people thought I had to like train for like a marathon or something. You know what I mean?
I was one of them. I was like, this guy's been running.
Was that 5K?
No, man, it wasn't even. It was like, honestly, bro, how they make it look on TV.
Yeah,
they made it look like you were
was
running.
long, like, you know, they threw some water on me and stuff. I joke. No, honestly, like that experience right there.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I will never forget that experience because I got to pick because I was a premier torchbearer. So I was like the number one torchbearer for the Pan Am Games, for the games, right? So I got to pick like wherever I wanted to run the torch to. I had my own choice. I could have ran into the stadium. I could have ran into downtown, wherever they had it downtown. Jane and Finch.
My dude.
What do you think, bro? I ran to Jane and Finch, bro. I ain't gonna play,
Brought it
man.
back to the block.
I brought it back to the block, and honestly, bro,
honestly,
when I ran into the block, yo, everybody was going crazy, bro. It was phenomenal. It was one of the like best moments, like, you know what I mean? It was history.
That's a once in a lifetime.
It was crazy. Yeah, you know what I mean? It was crazy. So that was like.
That one,
you know what I mean?
When I saw that one on the news, all I could do is like seeing you. It wasn't even I know him. It was I just smiled. It was literally just a genuine smile. It's like, look what this guy's doing. Like, I couldn't stop smiling.
Thank God.
All right, so he's got a Canadian Alliance of Black Education Award. Ghanaian Canadian Achievement Award, Keith Ford Youth of Excellence Service Award, Community Engagement Award, Identity and Impact Award, College Ontario Premier Award nominee, African Entertainment Award recipient. How do you win African Entertainment Award?
Man, you know, I'm mad because I told him to, like, you know, act like I was as a rapper. So I'm joking. No, they had a category for community service, and you know what I mean. And the guy, you know, his name is K Money, and my Nigerian brother, he was doing this thing for a long time. Yeah. He saw me and he's like, yo, you know. He's like, yo, you put in the work, you know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, you know, and you gave me that, you know, and it's prestigious, you know. It's just one of the best things is just to be recognized and supported by your own. Absolutely. You feel me? Because it's just like, you know, 100%. Like when you support your own is a different thing. 100%. You know, like you're building a community around ourselves, and we need to honestly do that as Black people to support our own, to help us get to where we need to get to, and stop like hating on each other, but support each other.
And you know what? I think we're in a time now where we're seeing that kind of flip a little bit, like your book, like, you know, I think Black people for the most part now. I mean, obviously, Black and Black crime still goes on and yada yada yada, but I do feel a sense of urgency in the Black community now where it's like, yo, we got to really hold each other down. You know what I mean? And not even in a way, like I felt like before when that would happen, it was more of in a way like us against the world. But now it just feels like a more organic push of just supporting each other and not necessarily being against anyone, but just supporting what we do, because we know if we support our movement, we're going to be as good as we want to be and as known and have what we deserve to have in this world, you know? So it's obviously still a process, and it's going to be decades and probably centuries before we really get that claim. But, you know, I like the push that just the whole community, the African community, the Caribbean community, all of us, like we're really standing up together, which is good.
Do you have like one specific event? You mentioned passing the torch through Jane and Finch, but is there like a speaking event that you remember, like you say, that was my favorite? I love that one.
I had many, man. Honestly, I don't know, man. I had many speaking engagements. Like, I don't know, man, because I remember one thing that crossed my mind was when Eric Thomas came to town. And
who's Eric Thomas?
E.T. He's a big motivational speaker from the state. Yeah. And when he came to town, and you know, he did a thing in Mississauga, And the guys that put it on, like, I didn't even get invited to speak at all. I didn't get invited to speak, but I wanted to speak, right? They had like five people from Toronto that are really big speakers, like really big influencers in the city, and they asked them to speak. They didn't ask me to speak, but I kept emailing the dude, I kept calling the dude down, you know, and I said, yo, I'm like, if somebody's late, if somebody doesn't show up, yo, I'm going to be here. I'm going to be right here in the crowd. You come and you tap me on my shoulder, and I'm going to come speak.
Word.
You know, I didn't get no.
like that
everybody out there probably got paid. Everybody got to speak. They probably got paid. But I'm like, yo, you know, I want to do this. You know what I mean? So I'm like, yo, I'm going to be in the crowd.